Sam, don't come back.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sorry, the network was very bad. So I believe we are done with that part.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So we have seen what it means for a computer to process. We have seen the one for storage. Under that processing, we
Yes.
mentioned something about there is something noticeable there, or notable rather, that says computer processing data on the fly. And that statement simply means that the possibility of data to just come in and get processed and then go out as a result immediately without any possibility of saving it on the
Yes.
memory. Even if that is
Mm,
possible,
okay.
they are not saying that at least that should, even if that is what you are doing on a particular data, the RAM will still work because the RAM will still need to hold what you are doing. So there will still be a need for temporary storage of what you are doing. So they are just trying to link storage with processing. And then the computer must be able to move data. Don't forget, we started by listing four main functions of the computer, which is the data processing, data storage, data movement, and the last one is what?
Move control.
Control. Thank
Data
you.
control.
So he has done justice to data processing, movement, and data control. So someone should start from, there are four main structural components. That is the next thing. So another person should take that one for us. The structural component of the computer. Agatha, are you here?
Let me this, sir.
All right, over to you.
There are four main structural components. That is central processing unit, CPU. So it controls the operation of the computer and performs its data processing function, often simply referred to as processor. So main memory, that is it stores data. So the third one is input and output. So input and output moves data between the computer and its external environment. So the fourth one of the main structural component of the computer is system interconnection. So they say some mechanisms that provides for communication among CPU, main memory, and input and output. A common example of system interconnection is by means of a system board consisting of a number of conducting wires to which all the other components attach. However, the most interesting and complex component is the major structural components are as follows.
Please,
So
you
let's
need to
look at the
explain that
major
before you
components of
continue. Explain the ones you've read so far, because I'm somehow lost now.
okay, sir. So I just read four main structural components of so this is the first one, the CPU, and the second one is the main memory. The third one, input and output. The fourth one, system interconnection.
Are you
The
sure?
fifth one, control unit.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
You are
summary.
missing it. All these ones that you are mentioning,
Okay,
they are under CPU. The main
the
four you are
four.
talking about is CPU,
Okay, yes.
control unit, the ALU, and the one last one that is there. Okay, and yes,
Okay,
the
let's
ALU, the
see.
control unit, the system interconnection, and the CPU. So
These are the
you
four
now explain
structural
CPU to
components.
us now.
This is, CPU controls the operation of the computer and performs its data processing function. Sometimes it used to refer to as a processor, we used to refer to CPU as like processor. Sometimes computer science. So the second one is the main memory. So the function of main memory is that store data type. So and the third one is input and output. Input I slash O. That is input and output. The function of input and output is that moves data between the computer and its external environment. I don't understand the external environment yet. What do they mean by the external environment?
The input and output devices moves data between the computer and its external environment. Like if you are attaching a flash to get your
Okay.
that is coming from external. Anything that is not part of the CPU or the computer structure itself is an external thing. Maybe that like disk, like flash, like any
Okay.
flash you bring.
Yeah. So that is input and output. I think the last one is system interconnection. So there's some mechanism that provides for communication among CPU, that and memory and input and output. A common example of system interconnection is by means of a system bus consisting of a number of conducting wires to which all the other components attach. So this that system bus like a what is it called? Like CPU bar. Hello sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Hello.
I'm with you.
I
What did
said
you
that
say?
system bus like that. I just that system bus they are referring to. It's like a CPU bar that all the wires and the conducting wires to which all the other components attach. The components also attached to the
No, it's not the
system bus.
CPU.
They are referring to.
It's not the CPU. Those are in the engineering part of our work. They will understand this. The,
Okay.
we have several buses that we use for interconnection. Let me use something like a router, for example. If you want to make several connections within a house or a company, you may need to connect them through a router. Those of you that know networking very well. So that is an example of a bus. Now we have several type of buses that are using interconnecting computers. This is for communication between computers. That is the meaning of interconnection. You are connecting computer A to computer B through cables. But when there are a lot of
Okay.
connections to make, you may need a central bus through which those connections will go out. You understand? So
Okay.
that bus will have several ports. Like it may be if it's USB cable that you're using to connect them, there will be several outlets in that. Let me give you an example. I don't know, maybe you've seen that USB the one that has multiple this thing. For instance, if your computer is having just one USB port or two, there is one thing like that they make. I don't really know the name. There are several USB ports. Then its own is just one cable. You use one mouth to connect it to your computer. Then it has several ports. So those multiple ports, you can connect different gadgets and devices to your computer through that one. I don't know, maybe
Okay.
you might eventually see the picture in this particular material too. So just continue. That is the work of the bus. It's not the CPU. It's different from the CPU.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So consisting of a number of conducting wires to which all the other components attach. However, the most interesting and complex component is the CPU. So that's another something.
Yes,
So
continue. You have to read the arithmetic logic unit. That is where you are stopping. We need to start
okay.
another class tonight so that we'll go far a bit. We've not done anything
Okay,
yet.
sir.
All right, so
Yeah.
continue.
Its major structural components are as follows. That is the major structural components of CPU are as follows. So the first one is control unit. Uh, the function of control is that controls the operation of the CPU and hence the computer. So the second one is arithmetic and logic unit. So this is ALU. The function is that performs the computer data processing function. So register. The third one is register. The function of register is that provides storage internal to uh, to the so CPU interconnection. That is the last one of the major structural components of the interconnection. There is some mechanism that provides for communication among the control unit, value, and
All right. Thank you so
so,
much, sir, for your time
as
and
you
for
explained,
taking that place for us. So
yes,
let's
sir,
let me quickly rush through it. Ah, my network is a fuse. Goodness. This night,
yes, sir.
you guys will take it the way it is. Sorry. Now we've talked
We can
about
hear
two
you.
different things.
We
We've
can hear
talked
you, sir.
about function, and now we are talking about structure. Don't forget from the initial, we said we are going to talk about two things under the architecture of computer.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk about the functions of the computer and then the structure of the computer. The first one treated by, I don't know the person that took that section. The person treated the functions for us: data processing, data storage, data movement, and control. Those ones fall under functions, like what computer can do. But this second part is talking about structure.
And data control. Yes,
It's just like when you say we have a building, the building itself, the way it is looking, whether it's a duplex, a story building, a flat, or anything, that is a structure. But what does the building do is the maybe for protection for people that live inside, or if it's a building constructed for hotel, that means the purpose or the function of the building is for hotel. But the structure itself maybe skyscraper or anything. So that is what we are doing here. We are looking at computer at the peripheral level, the structure, and then we are looking
yes,
at the
sir.
function, what the computer does. We've done that aspect. Now, what the
Yes, sir. I can
structure?
hear you.
So each of the things we have to talk about, both structure and
No,
function, they gave four divisions of each. We've talked about the division of the function. Now, for the division of
no.
the structure, we have the central processing unit. Of course, let's leave laptop out of it. Let's go back to the olden days, the desktop world. You know you have your monitor on the table, the CPU
Yes, sir.
right there separately, your keyboard separately, the mouse separately. So in the structure of computers, we have four divisions. We have the CPU, the central processing unit. We have the system interconnection. For instance, how you connect your keyboard to your CPU, how your monitor is connected to your CPU. If you have printer, how the printer is connected to your CPU. So each of them are interconnected via several means. One of the means you can do the interconnection is through buses. Those buses, we have a lot of, you can just search on net. We are all internet guys. Search for images of buses. Use in interconnecting computers. You see several of them there. So under the CPU, in order not to jump, the CPU
Yes,
performs some function in the structure of a computer. One of the main functions the CPU does is storage, because the memory of the computer is right there inside the CPU. So we have the storage of data, and then the input and output movement of data from the computer to the external devices is also done through the CPU. Because if you want to connect your flash to copy something from your computer now, you connect it to where? Is it the monitor you connect it to? Is the CPU. So that is why one of the functions of the CPU is to move data from computer to external devices. Now, the system interconnection, we've talked about that, your connection of computers together through several means. Another thing under that is control unit. This controls the operation of the CPU and hence the computer. So we have the control unit. Uh, Let me ask us a very simple question, because we are all computer guys. What's the difference between CPU and the control unit? Yes, I need fast answers, guys. If you don't know it, go and ask and tell us what you find out. What's the difference between control unit and the central processing unit? Which one is housing which one? Let me just, because that's what
CPU
I want you to understand. Which one? Is it control unit
house
that is housing CPU, or a CPU that is housing control unit?
CPU is housing control unit. The control unit is like a subdivision under CPU.
The central processing unit, okay? Who has an objection to that? So we agree with him. It means everybody here agree with what he says.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's move on. So another structure that you find in the computer is the arithmetic and logic. Now you know that each of these, sorry, most of these things they are talking about, they are inside the CPU. You understand? So you would have said that why
Okay,
are they talking about them as different structure? Is because each of them has its own structure. Even though most of them are inside the CPU, they are still having their own structure. That if you see it, you will know that this is CU. This is the control unit. It has its own unique structure. If you see the ALU, arithmetic logic unit, you will know that it is the ALU because it has its own unique structure. Those of you in the architecture, in the computer engineering, you will know all these things. Some of you are already working with engineering companies. So the last thing we have there is CPU interconnection. Some mechanism that provides for communication among the control unit, ALU, and register. Now, this CPU interconnection is done in the CPU. Many things are inside the CPU on the motherboard, but there is a way they are connected. So their interconnection is also part of the structure of a computer. Because when you see the motherboard of a CPU, you see several things connected together using several devices or medium. So that connectivity is what we call CPU interconnection, and it's part of the structure of a computer. Having said this, we have done computer functions and computer structure. So together in the 1 minute that we have now, what are the 4 functions of the computer? Let's start from that as a summary to this section. Yes, everybody on mute. The 4 functions of the computer, what are they?
Data processing,
Yes,
data storage, movement, and control.
and control. It's only one person that is in the class. All right, what are the structures of a computer? The 4 structures of a computer.
CPU, main storage, input, output, and system interconnection.
CPU, control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, and CPU interconnection. Thank you. That is very good. So we are done with this part. I don't know if my network will allow us to start another class, or we should just leave the rest till next week. The material is done that.
let's do
Or
another class.
we start another one and do computer components, or we
Let's
should leave it like that. Let's vote.
let's do computer.
We have less than 1 minute. How many people are supporting a new class before we end it?
Okay, like we continue with this
I
class, right?
support. I support the new class.
All right, you guys will join back.